We interviewed Jordan Greenspoon, who graduated from University of Guelph in 1994 with a BCom degree. Jordan said he always had an entrepreneurial mindset and can be described as a serial entrepreneur. He started a few businesses while he was in university, with the first one being a window cleaning business. He said that there was a growing demand for other services and adapted his business into a renovation business as well. After graduating, Jordan worked for a software company as a sales employee, and after that, in 2005, he decided to start his own company, the Multisoft Group. The Multisoft Group is a software company that offers online registration and accreditation services for associations that attend trade shows. They have extended to offer accreditation solution, abstract and speaker management. They serve several customers across the world in countries including Canada, the United States, Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, Japan, and Switzerland. Jordan worked and built this company and has also started a few other businesses as well.
When it came to the Multisoft Group, Jordan took an effectual approach for bird in hand by starting with his means and leveraging his resources in order to successfully launch his company. He created an adaptation of what his previous company he had worked for was doing and built upon the idea to make it better meet the needs of his clients. When he started the company, it was only comprised of himself and one programmer. Jordan did not have an extensive background in tech, and he sought out others that could provide different skill sets and experiences for the company. In order to find his team, he utilized LinkedIn, a free networking website, as a resource to become connected with a variety of people and seek out the skill sets he was missing. He had to work within his means by taking on clients he had worked with in the past, using his prior knowledge of the industry and iterating to identify how he could differentiate in order to be successful. He explained to our group the importance of him taking action immediately, so he was able to learn from his clients and further develop his venture.
When Jordan started the Multisoft Group, he took both a causal and effectual approach for affordable loss. He was very confident in the success of his business, however, distributed the risk of losses through partnerships. At the time, he had ownership of a home with a decent line of credit, which allowed him to fund investments into his venture. In this sense, Jordan did not set affordable loss, as he was willing to risk the line of credit on his home due to his belief in the success of his business. However, Jordan was able to strategically manage the financial risk involved with his startup through partnerships. He was able to receive funding from others as a percentage of ownership of his business, therefore making the losses involved in an unsuccessful business bearable. Jordan stressed the importance of making bold and aggressive decisions while running your own business. However, he also emphasized that having an exit plan if the worst case scenario arises is as equally important.
So about the patchwork and crazy quilt principle, so Jordan Greenspoon is, according to me, as much as an effectual than a causal approach user. So for instance, he finds the right people, the right teammates to build this project, to build his idea, and this is a collaborative behavior, so this is an effectual approach. So he had an idea about the technical softwares for business, for registration, events, and that kind of stuff. He knew what he needed, he knew what business he did, he has clearly an idea, so he's kind of technical, but not enough to build this. And he finds the right people who had some complementary skills in IT, especially, so computer skills, who can help him to build this idea into a real idea and to make of Multisoft Group a real company, a company that is profitable. So this is the effectual approach. But on the other side, he told us that he had some partnerships. So he had some partnerships with companies that could do what Multisoft couldn't do. But he eventually ended this partnership because, according to him, they didn't have the same point of view on the business as he has, and he didn't like it, so he ended it. And this is maybe too much of a competitive point of view because he didn't like it, and so, according to me, this is a causal approach.
When it came to the lemonade principle of leveraging contingencies, Jordan demonstrated a mix of both effectual and causal thinking. When we asked him about the challenges he faced and how he adapted to them, he said his biggest challenge was the mindset of the technical employees he had on his team. He said the developers had a hard time explaining the product and process to those who were not familiar with the technology. Jordan took more of a heroic approach in overcoming this obstacle by focusing on teaching these employees how to be more analytical and develop those other skills. So the next question we asked him was if Jordan expected the Multisoft Group to be as successful as it was. Interestingly enough, Jordan said that he was happy with the company's performance, but is looking for an exit plan because new contingencies have appeared in the market, such as blockchain and AI, and he's now more interested in getting involved in those. So this shows more of a causal.
When it came to the pilot of the plane principle, he has a very causal approach. Jordan stressed the importance of developing a business plan for himself to guide his venture through the early stages. He has a short-term mindset when it comes to starting new ventures. He believes that it is the most valuable to set an exit plan when entering a business. With industries constantly changing, he wants to be able to take on new businesses, gain as much success as possible from it, and then exit with a sizable profit. For example, he stated that blockchain is an inevitable trend that is going to happen and become a major industry in the market, and he wants to get into it. He also believes that the exchange rates will always favor and benefit the US, and that's one of the main reasons why he targets customers there. He finds this trend very predictive and necessary for his success, and he believes to keep up with the trends instead of trying to control the future for his benefit. Overall, we found it was very interesting that Jordan used a mixture of both causal and effectual practices. This was very evident when we were looking at the effectual principles. Overall, we found it very interesting that Jordan used a mixture of both causal and effectual practices. This was very evident when we looked at the effectual principles, specifically how bird in hand was very effectual while pilot on the plane was very causal. The insight we gained from this is that there are several approaches one can take in their entrepreneurial journey.